the name of this open museum that I'll be featuring for today is Telemark Museum. It is an open museum. If you check out the map, it has lots of cottages. It's not just usual cottages, and it's a bit special today because they give free entrance for all museums and a bit to pay for other activities here in Skien. For 50 kroner. But in usual days, you have to pay more for it. So it's very special for today. Ito yung pupuntahan natin, friends. Telemark Museum. Ano siya? Open museum. So malawak siya. Parang isang barangay. Tapos ang andito sa loob, friends, mga lumang cottages na inilagay nila dito para ma-preserve. Ayan. Pangalan dito ay Telemark Museum. Pupuntahan natin. Dito na tayo sa loob actually.
Hello! This is
Hello.
our guide for today. She'll tour us inside the Brekkeparken.
Yes,
Telemark
hello.
Museum.
My name is Carolina and I will be more than happy to give you a tour. So currently we are on the territory of Brekkeparken, and our exhibition is divided into three parts. First part, which we are currently in here, is Greenland, and two other are regions of Telemark West and East. Yes. Okay, so as I said, currently we are in Denmark, and behind us there are two wooden houses which comes from 16th century. The first one is Borgerstua and the other one is Sekhenstua. The first one was built in 1584, the other one was built in 1594. The first one was brought to our museum in 1909, the other one was brought here in 1911. If we go just a little bit further, we'll see them from a little bit further. So, this house presents a very common kind of architecture, which was typical for East Telemark. This house is two floors and it contains windows. This is actually very untypical sign of architecture. And the other one is just a little bit smaller, and it presents very, let's say, weird kind of architecture because it has two floors, one part and the other part is one. We can see it from a little bit further.
Yeah.
Yeah. And why is it so important that this house contains two floors? This is very, very important because this house comes from 16th century and it already has two floors, while other houses from the western part, which comes from the same time or even later time, they contain only one floor and they don't even have windows.
Oh.
So this already shows the huge differences between west and south. And those differences were made on the ground of huge differences between the economic and sociological matters, the factors. And for example, western part was further more developed than the western part, and it was made mainly because the western part was isolated. They were isolated because they had very poor system of roads, and also people were very, very brutal. They drank a lot of alcohol, they were carrying knives. They reacted on every kind of insult very, very brutally. So a lot of murders were committed actually in the western part. Yes. We can go around if you would like to take more pictures here. Or
I'll just take a video.
yes.
And I can take picture afterwards.
Yes, of course.
You could come here at the.
Okay na din.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we can go further.
Yeah.
Yes. And now we will be moving slowly from part of Greenland to part of Western Telemark.
Say hi, dear.
Hello, darling.
Many people actually tend to take to have weddings in this colony.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very nice.
It's very nice.
Very
Yeah.
nice, yeah.
So our whole museum is surrounded by very beautiful green, and in the whole park we have 27,000 of tulips, which are actually blooming right now. So it's beautiful.
Yeah.
This kind of outfit the girl is having on herself. This is national bunad. This is a rural Norwegian outfit, and everybody in different regions have different. Now this part
Yeah.
is Eastern Denmark,
Eastern
and we are
Denmark.
coming back here
Yeah.
a little bit later.
Yeah.
arrived to the part of Western Telemark, and this house on my right, this is one of the oldest exhibits in our museum. This wooden house was built in 14th century, and this house is called Orestua. Orestua because the fireplace set inside in the middle of the house was called Ore. Very soon we will get inside there, and I will show you why exactly is this called Ore. So this house basically had one room, and it had only one floor, and it didn't have any windows. Additionally, this house had a toilet outside. You can have a look here, but I don't recommend going there
Going
because
inside.
it's very unstable.
Okay, it's okay.
Yes.
Mm.
So this is the outside toilet.
Okay.
And this technique is called notch timber, and it was brought by Vikings, probably from Russia or Baltic countries. And this technique of building houses was very popular in Norway for a very, very long time. Yes, let's see the inside. Many Norwegian people believed in pagan religions, and here we have some signs which comes back from pagan religions. Even though Norway took Christianity in the beginning of the 11th century, many pagan religions were still very popular, and people were really reluctant to take that Christianity. And this one here is called Soljul. And this is basically the sun, and people believe that it was supposed to bring happiness and fertility. Very small, and don't think that this house belonged to very, very poor people. It actually belonged to wealthy people, just because it is still here. That means that they used very
Good material.
so it belonged to very wealthy people just because they used solid and expensive wood.
Yeah.
And this fireplace was called Ore. It was placed in the middle of the room, and just above there was a window which enabled the smoke to go out.
Oh.
Especially in the winter, they used to cover it with cow's stomach.
Oh. Cow's
Yes,
stomach.
cow's stomach, and they used this wood to move it. In addition, this wooden piece, this was hanged here because it enabled people to hang pots on it and some light. So that means they could have some light. But in the winters, people actually slept in other storage because here it was very, very cold. They had to keep the door open because it enabled the smoke to go out. And you probably try to figure out why the door is so low.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are actually different hypotheses that trying to explain it. First of all, this low door was safer for the structure of the house than a higher and bigger door. An example, in addition, it was also some kind of protection because in case of robbery, people had to do this, and it was easier to cut their hands and just put them down. On this floor, there is no wooden floor. This is just a mud, and they used animals' fat to make it lower. This wardrobe, this comes from a bit later. We are not sure when was it added here. It was just here when this house arrived here. But for sure, it comes from a bit later, probably from 16th or 17th century. And here we have a bed. This is actually a very small bed. But in those times, people didn't sleep on the low position. They didn't sleep like we do nowadays. They slept in the sitting position.
Oh.
They slept in the sitting position, first of all, because they were really scared of death.
Oh,
They
yeah.
believed that if they would sleep in the flat position, the death would think that they are dead, and they believed that they were very scared that she would take them with herself. So that's why they slept sitting.
Sitting position.
Also, they believed that every liquid in our body could make us drown.
Oh.
Why
So the blood could make us drown.
Yes,
Because it's
exactly.
liquid.
And in such bed, there would fit 6 to 7 people. Parents usually used to sleep with children. Elderly people, they used to sleep in some kind of storage, which is there. Or some people actually also slept there. They're up. In here also have we some signs from pagan times. This is also the Suljul. And this is horse. And horse was also connected to fertility, to the power, to the strength, and to the happiness. Yeah, so this is basically the Orastua. We can go further.
Yeah.
This is also a very important sign. This is called pregnant bellies.
Oh.
And this was supposed to bring fertility to the inhabitants of this house. And here in museum we have a small joke that every time you pass this gate, you will have a lot of children. So if we meet next time, we will figure out if it actually works or not. Okay, so let's go. Landscape is very typical for the architectural landscape from Western Telemark. The houses were set on the one side, and the houses which contained use of fire were set a little bit further because of protection. In case of fire, the damage would be smaller and the houses wouldn't be damaged. So that house is multifunctional house, which was used for the brewery, for brewery. For cooking, for baking, for washing the clothes, and so on. And today we can actually go inside because it's open. Usually it's closed, but today we are lucky, so we can just go and see what's going on there.
Oh.
Det tar litt tid altså, men vi skal være raske. Det var altså det.
Og de lager lefse.
Forsvinner, så synes jeg det er fint. Jeg vet ikke, den skal jo egentlig funke, men så fant vi ut at det er rett og slett med hell over. Det er litt sånn navnbrøaktig. Ja, det er litt søttere, men sånn... Søttere, ja, men det så veldig sånn... Ligner litt. Lett.
Kinds of activity. So, and this is why it was set just a little bit further from the other houses. And those were used for storage. This house
For
is
storage.
called Brekkeparken, and it comes from Milan, Italy, and the other house is Sulilukta. So this Sulilukta is just a little bit higher because on the second floor people used to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
They stored food downstairs and they used to sleep upstairs. Yes, and especially in the winter, people used to storage dead bodies in such houses, mainly because the ground was too frozen to grave the people. So they had to keep them there until it was actually possible to grave the dead bodies.
Okay.
And this is why sometimes they were called likstua, which means the house of the dead. And here we also see very typical curving, very typical ornaments. And they were added just a little bit later, probably after 1712. And upstairs, we can't actually go there because this house can't allow us. The stairs are too dangerous.
It's okay.
On the bed, there is a curved date from 1514. Yes. We would try to see it from inside, but I am not sure if I have the right key.
It's okay.
That's how I do it. So here you can only see it from the outside like this. So here we see how they used to hang the meat and where they used to storage the beer, the corns and other foods. And upstairs there they used to sleep. It is very dangerous to go upstairs. I tried once and I couldn't go down, so I think it's better to just to stay here. And here you also see the pregnant bellies. You see, this was a very common sign.
Yes.
Not very rich. They only used it forage, and it was regulated by law. They couldn't bake bread on the weekends, for example. And there was also the law that said that people had to brew beer in for the special occasions. For example, for summer or spring, or for winter or fall. Also, many people had stomach problems because they didn't have enough money. They couldn't manage to let the haze dry out, so it was full of fungus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so many people actually had food poisonings. And also, there was a special kind of fungus which was used as a drug.
Drug.
It's a drug, yes. So it was also even the metaphor flying high, which meant to be on drugs. Also, after every just an incident, I forgot the name of it. Yes, that name of fungus was ergot fungus. And people didn't eat pork at the time because pigs were used for eating excrements. Yes. Eastern part of Telemark, and here we have several wooden houses. You wonder, this comes from probably, it is mentioned in a book from Sauerland. And it was also used as a storage for food, and upstairs they used to sleep. That's why it has its own shape. This house here, this is Haugerloven, and this was used only for storing food. And it has 3 rooms. One main room, which stairs goes to, and one room on the left, one room on the right. This house was owned by a policeman from the village of Haugert, and he owned it in 18th century. He started to own it in 1703. And to this house is connected a very interesting story. Because of Reformation in the church, many people lost their interest. They lost everything they had. So in the village Haugert, there became Danish policemen working, and they were very brutal. They approach towards people living in this village was absolutely unacceptable. And there was a policeman, and he didn't agree with that. And because he fought with Captain Negler, he lost his arm. But he was the most rich person in the village, so he could afford to have his protezes made. And he actually had two of them. One was made of metal for everyday, and the other one was made of silver for special occasions. But even though he decided to go to the king and complain about what had happened, and king was very worried about what happened, and he made that Captain Negler thrown out from the village. But this is not only one story which tells about the Danish approach towards the Norwegian people. There was also a revolt, the peasants' revolt in 1540 in Hjartdal. Also because of the church and so on, the king decided that German miners would now work in the mine in Seljord. And peasants didn't like it because Germans used to rape their women. They used to take their food. They used to steal from them, and peasants decided to fight. Of course, king didn't like it, and he sent his soldiers. And he made a trap for peasants. He told them to come to Prestegård in Hjartdal, and he made execution. 5 of them were beheaded, and the 6th one had to make the execution. That was very sad.
Cool.
We can actually see this Tveitenstua because it's open today as well. Let's go. And also tells about the king's approach. There was a soldier living here. That's why this name is called Tveitenstua. It comes from his surname Tveiten, and he was made to fight in the war for Spanish succession. After 18 years, he was able to come back, and then he met his newborn son, which he left going to the war. And when he came back, his son was already 18 years old. Actually, today we have a special guest working in this wooden house. The lady is making her own sweaters and other wooden things. Welcome.
Hi, hi. Oh, så fint. Er det deg som lagde alle av det? Ja.
So this is actually the artwork going on here.
Typical Norwegian.
Typical Norwegian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything is typical Norwegian. Everything is handmade. Everything is amazing.
Yeah.
This is usually not part of our tour, but since it's open today, I think it's very worth it.
Yeah. And see the design.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
But the next house we are going into is whole painted in such ornaments.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That still come from different parts. So in this house we are going, it's the last one. First we'll just see Nynavik. And here we actually see architectural novelty. For example, here it's still built with notched timber, but here we see something different.
Yeah.
Paneled wood, and this was common from 18th, 19th century, and this was supposed to look like wealthy people houses. But apparently they only managed to put it outside because inside it's still much deeper. Okay, let me just fix the light here.
Oh yeah.
So this house belonged to really wealthy people. It was 2-door contained windows. Those 2 windows actually don't work anymore. But in 19th century, the economic and the general situation was very poor. Many people lived in huge poverty, and so they couldn't afford to eat anything. Also, the climate was very harsh, so everything was basically frozen. And that's why in the 19th century people managed to invent new kind of baking bread. They used to add pieces of tree. Pieces of tree. They first dried them and then melted them. And they did so because it made the bread last longer.
Okay.
So, and also they used to add some kind of bones. Bird bones, probably from animals. And also other food that usually is not eatable. And they did so because they had to survive. And in 18th and 19th century, there was a man called Hans Nielsen Hauge. He was a priest, and he decided to walk around Norway and talk to people. His most outrageous meaning was that he believed that women are equal to men, and he believed that women can also be owners, they also can be chiefs and so on, just like men can do. He also helped to establish around 88 different firms, which some of them still works. And for example, there was Møllerstrand, that company that produces oil from the livers, the fish liver. Yeah, it's still on the market. So this is basically Lindevik, and this is not the last one. Next house on our tour is the last one.
Look at the chairs there. The chairs are so nice also.
They are beautiful.
The design.
It was also very common that in 19th century people had to travel with passport, even though they traveled around Norway. And not having passport would end up in prison. Yes. The closest bank was in Denmark, in Copenhagen, and all the positions were made for Danish people. Norwegians couldn't work, for example, as a policeman or as a priest.
Lindevik store.
This house is called Remberg.
Remember.
This also belongs to very wealthy people, and soon we will see why.
Okay. Maybe it's very nice inside.
It is very nice, but soon you will see how actually nice it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're excited to go inside.
It really is. This door is not original part. This door was made by museum because it was damaged.
Oi.
Yes, we'll fix the lights. Just in one.
It's okay. It's okay. It has light.
Okay. So the light is here. And here you actually have to be very, you have to be careful because the stairs are really steep.
Yeah, it's okay. Oy. This
Wow.
it's very beautiful. Oh. Yeah.
So this pattern we see here, this is called telerosa. This is a very typical ornament for rosemåling. Literally painting of roses was a very typical way of art, especially between 17th, 18th, and 19th century. And this house, every ornament here in this room was painted by Ola Hansson. He was a very famous rosemåling artist, which worked especially in Telemark. But unfortunately, this kind of art was not really considered as art.
Oh.
He and other painters, they used to live in poverty. Their only salary was usually food and place to sleep. Sometimes they managed to receive some money, but it was not a lot of money. And here we see some cities, and here on the walls are painted the stories from Bible. In addition, those two cupboards, they don't belong to original interior, but they were added to just a little bit later, mainly because they were also painted by Ola Hansson. The brushes, they were made of squirrel's tails, tails, and also other animals' fur. The cheapest way to achieve the paint was just to mix some kind of the powder, usually which came from nature, with egg.
Oh.
That was a cheaper way, but so that
So amazing.
It's amazing.
Nature plus egg. And they got
And
this
later, they used to mix some powders which came from industrial companies, and they mix it with glue. Unfortunately, those kind of artists, they usually were sick because they were a lot of
respiratory disease.
Yes, So this is basically our last house.
Yeah.
This chimney was also added by museum. This is not original part of interior.
Yeah. Amazing.
Very amazing. And it looks like a baptism here.
Yes. This
So,
is baptism here.
so they practice Christianity at this time.
Yes, at this time they practiced Christianity. The Christianity came here around 11th century, and because of Reformation in 16th century, they changed their religion into the other.
Yes. How's that work there?
It is very much interesting and very informative about the history of Telemark, especially the houses that we saw.
Yeah.
It's very much informative, especially what we saw inside. It's very much amazing, especially the house of the rich people in the old days.
Yeah.
The houses was painted, the rosimaling, which is very much common in Norway before. That's very good to see it, actually. And some of the houses which is we used to store food. It is quite nice to see that place, that kind of house. What is the content inside and the top level of the house, which is they used to stay in the top level of the house. So it's quite amazing to experience. Yeah, it's good.
But how about that they couldn't bury immediately the dead people during winter time, and they had to put it on their first floor.
Yeah, I was quite amazed about it. But maybe it's not so much way to bury the people who died in the winter time because it's not easy to grave the ground. So I think it's one of the possibility, but just to put it in the storage.
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Te.
you're welcome.